I never thought owning a home would lead to such a drawn-out conflict. But here I am, caught in what feels like a neighborhood war. It all started when my next-door neighbor, whom everyone quietly referred to as HOA Karen, began driving recklessly through my front lawn. At first, I thought it was an accident. Maybe she misjudged the driveway entrance or was distracted. But over time, it became clear it was intentional. Every week, sometimes multiple times a week, I would find tire marks scorched into the grass. My once pristine lawn, which I took great pride in maintaining, looked like a racetrack. I tried talking to her directly. I approached her calmly, explaining how damaging this was and how it was affecting my property's value. She dismissed my concerns with a wave and a sarcastic comment about how grass was made to be driven on. I also reported the issue to the homeowners association. Surprisingly, their response was lukewarm. They told me the HOA rules prohibited reckless driving, but said enforcement was difficult without concrete evidence. That's when I decided to start documenting everything. I installed a motion-activated camera aimed at my lawn, recording the tire marks and her car repeatedly. The footage showed her speeding right over the grass without hesitation. While gathering this evidence, I researched the HOA rules in detail. Most associations have clauses about property damage and reckless behavior, but enforcement often requires a formal complaint and proof. I began filing repeated complaints, attaching my video evidence. But despite this, HOA Karen acted with impunity, and the association's actions felt like a revolving door of ignored reports. With little help from the HOA and seeing my lawn continually destroyed, I felt compelled to take matters into my own hands. I considered various options carefully. Legal action was one, but I was hesitant to jump straight into a lawsuit without trying a less confrontational approach first. After consulting a few friends and neighbors, someone suggested I look into non-lethal deterrence. I found information online about planting small plastic spikes beneath the grass designed to deter vehicles without causing harm to tires or people. The spikes are sharp enough to make driving over them uncomfortable but don't puncture tires. They are also invisible once placed under the turf. I weighed the risks. Would this escalate the conflict? Could I be held liable if something went wrong? After researching local laws and HOA regulations, I found no direct rule forbidding such deterrence on private property, especially to protect one's own land from intentional damage. So, over several evenings, I carefully installed the spikes beneath the soft earth of the lawn areas that were most frequently damaged. I ensured they were hidden and evenly spaced to maximize deterrence without risking injury. The next time HOA Karen came barreling through my lawn, she hit the spikes. The sound was unmistakable, a sharp crunch under the tires, and she quickly stopped, getting out of her car, visibly confused and irritated. The tire noise and discomfort forced her to back off immediately. I stood watching from my porch, feeling a mix of relief and apprehension. Chapter 3. The fallout and resolution. After the spikes were installed, the reckless driving stopped, at least on my property. I didn't hear or see her racing across the lawn again. However, this was not the end of the story. A few days later, I received a strongly worded letter from the HOA stating that I had violated community rules by installing unauthorized materials on my lawn. They threatened fines if I didn't remove the spikes immediately. I prepared to defend myself. I gathered all my documentation, the footage of her driving on my lawn, the record of complaints filed, and my research on legal boundaries for property protection. I requested a hearing with the HOA board, presenting my case calmly and factually. During the hearing, I explained the repeated damage caused by the neighbor, the lack of adequate HOA enforcement, and my efforts to protect my property without causing harm. The board was divided but acknowledged the valid points about the ongoing damage and the insufficient response. In the end, they agreed to waive the fines on the condition that I replace the spikes with a less aggressive but still effective lawn barrier, such as decorative rocks or bushes, which I promptly did. Though the conflict remains a tense topic in the neighborhood, I've regained some peace. I still keep the camera running, just in case. I learned a lot about standing up for myself within a system that often favors silence and patience. Sometimes, protecting your home requires firmness, resilience, and yes, a little creativity. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe to QZ Stories